guys, how's it going? And welcome back, and welcome to the review of the Musiclily. These are 14:1 ratio tuners, and they're about $22 and change on Amazon. That's Canadian dollars. And these have a nut and washer system, so you're going to need 10mm holes in your headstock. So if you've already got a nut and washer system on your guitar, these will work on any guitar, whether it's acoustic or electric, as long as it's a 3-3 headstock, okay, designed like this, and 10mm holes. Now, if you don't have 10mm holes, not a problem. You can always bore out the holes to 10mm, which means you're going to need a tapered reamer and a 10mm straight reamer, and you will be able to make perfect concentric holes and get into that 10mm range, and then you can use actually any tuner you want at that point that has a nut and washer system. So this guitar already had come with a nut and washer system, so it was no big deal. They were a direct bolt and go. The one thing you want to be mindful too as well, if you're going to go for direct on systems, is to make note of the back where the screws are. You're going to have either a offset like this, or it's going to be a straight 90-degree downward, okay? So these are like an offset, so that's what we went with. Then you're not making new holes either, and you use the new screws. They go right in just fine, no problems at all. And like I said, it is a nut and washer system that also helps hold that tuner in place as well, and you're going to need them. And you don't over tighten these. You just go until they're snug, and that's it. And then, you know, each season that you have, as far as we'll call it the winter season and the summer season, okay? Basically from well, I would say probably somewhere around June, between May, June, yeah, probably about May, June, to at least October. That would be basically your one main season there, where your wood is going to have a higher chance of expanding because of heat and humidity. When the colder months hit, of course, which are going to take, you know, November, December, January, February, March, April, then yeah, wood's going to shrink a bit. Even with keeping your humidity as close as you can consistently, the winter months tend to be a lot harder to keep that humidity constant all year round in the house. So you will find a little bit of wood shrinkage that does happen in the winter time, which means you're going to have to re-snug these in the winter and then possibly back them off again come the next following season, just a little bit. And then so what I do is I just loosen them right out, and then I snug them back up with each way that seasonal climate change happens, okay? And that's how you maintain your tuners on any guitar. So, but anyways, for under $23 Canadian, they're a really nice tuner. They're really good. I've used Musiclily products before. I had a set, one of their bridges actually. I had an Epiphone, what do they call it? EL or LE or something like that. It's that one with the 2 single coil pickups. I can't remember the exact name. It is on my channel though, because I didn't like the lightning bridge that was with that one, because it's kind of like a fixed intonation with a little bit of adjustment that you can do, but not a lot. So Musiclily, of course, made an overwrap type system, but also with independent saddles that could be intonated, so you can get closer to that alleged perfect intonation, okay? And I do say alleged because stringed instruments are never 100% perfectly intonated. It's absolutely impossible. But at least for all 6 strings to be that way. So anyways, that bridge worked out fantastic. It was very inexpensive, and I thought, well, I've never tried their tuners. Let's give their tuners a shot. And it didn't say anywhere that I could see about what the ratio was, but they do carry a number of tuners for 3-3 headstock, and you've got choices like, you know, gold or chrome or silver. You've got different button styles that they have. You can also order separate buttons in. You can check Amazon for button tuner knobs in a variety of styles, and they work with virtually every tuner out there anyways. You just take the screw out, pull this out, pop in the new one, put the screw in, away you go, and you're off to the races, and you can change your top tuning peg heads off to whatever kind of style that floats your boat that you can get your hands on. So, but I like these the way they are. They're just fine, and I wanted gold anyways because it is a black guitar, and I think black and gold look great together. Certain depths of wood grain colors also look really good with gold too. Anyways, then I have a gold fetish problem, so there you go. And I also got brass pins as well. These were not Musiclily, but they work really well to give you a little bit more life out of your strings, especially when you're using cheaper strings like these D'Addario non-coated strings. Gives a bit of extra life, at the same time some extra brightness as a result of that, so you don't have to change your strings so often. Now they do hold tune extremely well, and they are, I'd say, reasonably stiff. The screw on top is not just for holding the button there, it is for giving a little bit of extra tension as well. You just got to watch you don't put too much tension on, because otherwise you can damage the plastic bushing, and then good luck finding a replacement bushing, because there are a variety of bushing sizes available that are in tuners, and there are places you can buy just the bushings, but you got to make sure you get the exact precise size, because if it's too small, it's not going to work. If it's too big in diameter, inside and out, well, it's still not going to work. So you have to have the right proper size. So this is why don't over tighten these, okay? But also don't let them run loose on you either at the same time, because then it causes too much play, and tuning and stability issues are going to result as part of that. So you got to kind of find that happy medium where you're good with it without crushing into that plastic washer and wrecking it. So that's a big thing when you're going to adjust these things. But I would definitely rate these things an easy 4 1/4 out of 5. I think they deserve that. You know, I mean, nothing's perfect. They're also a cheap tuner, keep that in mind. I mean, I don't know what the lifespan is going to be like on them, but judging by the way I felt, you know, for play in the shafts on each one before installing them, they were all very tightly done, which is bonus. A little bit of play is not a problem because it does get stiffened up as soon as you slide over the nut collar and snug things up anyways. It does restrict any other movement, but you don't want it sloppy because that's definitely a bad tuner at that point, and it's going to give you a lot of trouble. These were all pretty much identical in tension for the amount of play, which was very, very minuscule, which is actually showing the signs of really well-built tuners for such an incredibly low price. I even looked at cheap tuners at Long & McQuaid, and the cheapest set of tuners I could find were chrome, and they were still like 50, 60 bucks. I'm like, why would I pay that when I can get this in gold? Which is what I wanted anyways, and I paid less than half of that price. So it's kind of like, well, Long McQuaid doesn't have everything after all, you know, so Amazon does come in handy at times, you know, but they do hold tune very well. For 14 to 1, it's kind of a standard thing that you're going to find on many guitars, especially cheaper guitars. Pretty much every guitar that I'm aware of that's basically under $500, you're pretty much guaranteed you're getting a 14 to 1 tuner. It's not that often you're going to get an 18 to 1, but you're definitely going to get 14 to 1. And with the ratio thing, the higher the turning ratio, the better, because that means that the lower the ratio number, like 14 and below, are more sensitive. So it doesn't take very much movement to make a huge impact. So if you have a higher tuning ratio tuner, like say an 18 or a 21 or a 36 and so on, it takes a lot more turning to make a little bit of difference, which is kind of what your goal is to have as least amount of sensitivity as possible, so that it gives you even greater tuning stability. There are actually tuners out there at a high enough ratio that you can literally down tune to pitch and never worry about it. They just don't have slop in them at all whatsoever. Although I still recommend always tuning up to pitch anyways, don't take your chances, right? The amount of back play in these is very minimal, but it is there, like any other cheap tuner would be at a 14:1 ratio. So you're going to have to definitely, tune up to pitch. And if you go over pitch, tune down below, and then back up again to pitch. Just remember, 14:1 is very sensitive. So don't try and take big turns. Take them small, because small amount of turning makes a huge impact here. But I like them, and they work. I would even use these on a more expensive guitar. This is just one of my Beaver Creeks that I think this is the one I paid, actually, I think it was about 110, 120 bucks for at the pawn shop. And I actually put a pickup in this as well and did a permanent install. And so there's my jack install plate and everything. And I went with gold because I already had one. Yeah, great little tuners. Check yourself out a set. See how you like them. You don't have to spend a pile of money to get some pretty decent tuners. And Musiclily has quite a bit of guitar parts, and their parts seem to be, so far, once again proven to be very, very good quality for a very inexpensive price. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more. I've got another review on you for a different type of Geiger tuner that I picked up for another guitar. And we'll check those out as well, see what we think. And of course they are a higher turning ratio than these. So, see ya.